The meeting ends. You've just closed the biggest deal of the year. Your boss praises you, your team admires you, the world applauds. But in the restroom, alone, facing the mirror, the victorious woman who should be staring back, she's not there. In her place, a face swollen with stress. A skirt that fit perfectly this morning now digs into your waist like a silent punishment. And the question that echoes in that silence is brutal. How can you lead a multi-million-dollar project, but not get your own jeans to close by the end of the day? You collect promotions, praise from the board, and a schedule that would make any CEO envious. You are the example of success that everyone admires. And I am here to tell you that this greatest virtue of yours is the architect of your ruin. While your LinkedIn profile displays a flawless resume, your body tells a different story, one that you keep under lock and key. The story of chronic fatigue that not even the strongest coffee can hide, the bloating that makes you choose clothes for comfort, not for style, and the anxiety that haunts you on Sunday nights. Why do I know this? Because I have built this very same gilded cage. I also believe that sacrifice was the price of success, until my body cashed the check with the interest of burnout and diagnoses that doctors couldn't understand. I am the sovereign of vitality, and today I haven't come to give you more productivity tips. I have come to give you a diagnosis. The problem isn't your ambition. The problem is the operating system you use to execute it. Today, we will expose the inconvenient truth behind the high performer's paradox. I will show you how the 4 pillars of your success, your effort, your stress management, your discipline, and even your rest, are, in fact, the 4 horsemen of your bodily apocalypse. Prepare to understand why. The higher you climb the career ladder, the more your body cries for help. You built your career based on a simple and brutally effective equation. More effort, more hours, more sacrifice equals more results. It was this military discipline that got you the promotion, the bonus, the respect in the boardroom. You learned to treat your body like a soldier on a mission. Ignore fatigue, suppress hunger, postpone rest. After all, exhaustion is just a sign that victory is near, right? This command and control system worked like magic for your professional empire. The problem, darling, is that your body is not a company. It doesn't respond to productivity spreadsheets and isn't impressed by your ability to work 14 hours straight. Your biology doesn't negotiate with your sense of urgency. It operates under ancient, non-negotiable laws that you have systematically ignored in the name of the next big project. Let me tell you the story of a client of mine, a brilliant marketing director. She needed to be flawless for the biggest presentation of her life and, in 2 weeks, lost 5 kilos living on salad, chicken, and a dangerous dose of willpower. She was applauded, she closed the deal, and she felt invincible for 24 hours. The following week, 3 days in bed with the worst migraine of her life, and the following month, 7 kilos more on the scale. She didn't fail the diet, darling. Her warlike strategy is what led her to temporary bankruptcy. This is why, even at the height of your success, you feel like you are at war. Why, after receiving that long-awaited promotion, you don't feel euphoria, but an uncontrollable craving for sugar? Why can the same mind that designs complex strategies not decide what to have for dinner without feeling anxious? This disconnect, my dear, is not your failure. It is the first symptom that your success-driven operating system is corrupting your body's hardware. Shall we talk about your superpower, which is also your secret poison? Your incredible ability to turn stress into fuel. The adrenaline of a deadline, the cortisol of a negotiation. For you, this isn't panic, it's your breakfast. And your body, poor thing, joins this dance and turns on survival mode as if it were the factory setting, just to please you, darling. The problem is that no one can live on high alert for long. But a body living in survival mode needs the ammunition for war, not a banquet of peace. Your brain, under this tyranny of performance, is not planning a Zen dinner with salmon and broccoli. It's screaming for a grenade of quick energy. And in body language, a grenade looks a lot like that piece of bread, the chocolate after lunch, or that 3rd cup of coffee you swear is your last. Think of your lawyer friend closing a massive case. Do you really think that at 10 at night, surrounded by piles of documents, she stops and thinks, what would be the wisest nutritional choice right now? No, darling. Her question is, what will keep me awake and functioning for the next 3 hours? The answer? The cold slice of pizza in the break room, the bag of chips from the vending machine, the can of energy drink that she knows will take its toll tomorrow. She is not nourishing herself. She is managing a state of crisis. And this is where the paradox becomes truly cruel, my dear. You are not eating your emotions like an amateur. You are a professional, merely executing the biochemical order that your own ambition has triggered. You yourself have trained the soldier to be addicted to battles, and now you blame it for asking for the only ammunition that keeps it on its feet. And the worst part? You look in the mirror and call this a lack of willpower. Breaking this biochemical command is the first step to ending self-sabotage. It's a protocol I detail in my guide. But it all starts with understanding that your willpower has nothing to do with it. And as the brilliant strategist you are, when you realize your body is in mutiny, what do? You create a plan of attack, of course, a flawless diet, a workout spreadsheet that would make an Olympic athlete cry, and a list of no's the size of your annual bonus. You go with the same intensity you use to launch a product. It's all or nothing. The problem, my dear, is that in your biology, all or nothing almost always results in nothing. Your body is not a project with a deadline. It is an empire that must be governed with wisdom, not with warfare tactics. You maintain this perfection for 3 days, maybe a week. You feel powerful, a true warrior monk of wellness. But this extreme restriction creates unbearable pressure. Your pleasure intern, whom you locked in the basement, starts to break down the door. And when the door bursts open, darling, he doesn't want an apple. He wants to sack the entire city. It's the classic Friday night scene. You spent the whole week refusing the colleague's birthday cake, ordering the salad at lunch with clients, and drinking sparkling water at happy hour. You are a monument to discipline. And then you get home, exhausted. The door closes and your pleasure intern, now promoted to Chief of the Rebellion, looks at you and says, "We paid the price. Where is our reward?" And the reward is never one glass of wine. It's the whole bottle. It's not one slice of pizza. It's the whole pizza. This Friday night rebellion, my dear, is not a slip-up. It is the mathematical consequence of your strategy. It leaves you on Saturday morning with a moral and physical hangover, bloated, guilty, and even more convinced that you were born without willpower. But the truth is that your plan for perfection was the architect of your sabotage. You created such a vacuum of freedom that the compensation had to be devastating. If what I'm saying resonates with you, if you are tired of living on this seesaw of punishment and reward, leave a comment below with the phrase, "No more yo-yo." I want to know who the sovereigns are that are ready to retake command. And after the weekend rebellion comes the Monday promise. This time it's for real. But the cycle repeats. And do you know why, my dear? Because the final piece of this trap, the general who commands this entire army of self-sabotage, is your absolute and total inability to truly rest. I'm not talking about sleeping after answering emails in bed. I'm talking about actually shutting down your operating system. Think about your Sunday. It's sold as your day of rest, but what really happens? You wake up and instead of staying in bed, you're already planning the week, optimizing the grocery list. You go to the gym for an intense class, not for pleasure, but to compensate for the weekend. In the afternoon, you don't take a nap. You organize closets while listening to a podcast on leadership. Even your relaxation must have a visible ROI, return on investment. Your rest is, in fact, a performance. It's binge watching a series to optimize your free time. It's the infinite scroll on social media to catch up. You are not relaxing, darling. You are just swapping one battlefield for another, one that is covered in entertainment and cheap dopamine. Your brain never leaves alert mode, and your body pays the price, maintaining the subtle state of emergency that craves that same quick ammunition we've already discussed. And the problem with only using a hammer, my dear, is that you end up seeing everything as a nail. Your relationship with food becomes a battle. Your sleep, a negotiation. And your body, an enemy to be tamed. This internal state of war is costing you your peace now. It is what steals the glow from your skin and leaves you with a tired look that no makeup can hide. In the end, it all comes down to the transaction you make every day. You are trading your own life force for today's productivity. And that is the worst transaction a woman of power can make. So let's recap your plan for success. You use effort as a metric, stress as fuel, restriction as a strategy, and distraction as rest. It is a system perfectly designed to get you a promotion, and at the same time, chronic inflammation. You are at the top of your career and at the bottom of your vitality. You have become the CEO of an empire that is crumbling from the inside because the only tool you know how to use is a hammer. And you probably don't even know that there's a complete toolbox with other strategies. This is the arsenal I provide in the practical guide, The End of Self-Sabotage. But the first tool you need to pick up isn't a hammer. It's a mirror. I know, the diagnosis is harsh. And you must be asking yourself, okay, Sovereign, I get it. My system is broken. But what do I do now? I will not leave you without your first decree of power. The first tool in your new toolbox is not complex. It is called the Sovereign Pause Protocol. It is a painkiller for your urgency, and it takes 60 seconds. Between one meeting and the next, before answering that email that irritated you, before deciding what to have for lunch, stop. Just stop. Close your eyes, take one deep breath, and ask yourself the question that is the beginning of all sovereignty. In this exact moment, what does my body need versus what does my ambition demand? Does it seem too simple? Almost foolish? That's because it is. You don't dismantle an empire with one explosion, but brick by brick. It is with these baby steps, with these micro pauses, that you begin to dismantle your old modus operandi. And you need to understand why you resist change so much, even when you know the current system is mistreating you and destroying your self-esteem. It is not weakness, it is programming. Your brain, out of habit, will always choose the neural pathway it already knows, the performance at all costs shortcut, even if that path ends at a cliff. The Sovereign Pause is your tool to create a new trail in the forest of your mind. Each time you use it, you weaken the old path and strengthen the new one. This small act of self-awareness is not the complete cure, but it is the first sip of power. It is the beginning of the end of your own tyranny. So the paradox is exposed. The same ruthless mentality that builds your empire is the one that devastates it from within. The question that remains, Sovereign, is, for how long? For how long will you applaud your professional achievements while ignoring your body's cry for help? For how long will you use the same tools that got you promoted to dig an ever deeper pit of personal dissatisfaction? The knowledge you acquired today is not just information. It is a fork in your road. You can continue with the hammer, trying to force a different result, or you can start building a new toolbox based on wisdom, not on sacrifice. True high performance is not about how hard you can fight against yourself. It is about how intelligently you can govern yourself. The decree is made. If you have decided to stop being a prisoner of your own success, then your first act as the ruler of your life begins now. Subscribing to this channel is not a click. It is your public declaration that you are taking the throne. Subscribe and activate notifications, because in the next decree, we will answer the question that haunts you every night. Why does your willpower disappear after 8 p.m.? We will expose the biochemical enemy that hijacks your good intentions. Your empire needs this intelligence.